YouTube, it's Missy, and today I'm here to share with you guys my June TBR. But before we get started, and to make it super professional and have like a stand and everything, I'm going to go through all of the books that you guys have chosen for me. I did ask on Twitter and Instagram for you guys to help me pick out my June TBR. I will be rolling over a few books from last month, but other than that, I wanted to have some kind of like a surprise. I hated having a TBR jar because it never worked for me, but I figured you guys could help and maybe it would be even more special since you guys picked the books out. So, as I've said, we're going to be doing this vlog style for right now. Excuse the look at that. Can you see this? The dye has already washed out. Red does not stay in my hair. I dyed my hair green 2 years ago, and it lasted for almost a year. Like, the green would not leave my head, and I loved it. My husband absolutely hated the green hair. And so I dye my hair red because it's in like more of a normal color and my husband would like it more, but it really only lasts in my hair for about a month. The previous videos you guys saw, it was very red and purple, and I absolutely loved it dark like that. But yeah, this is what happens when you get salt water in your hair like 2 weeks after you've dyed it. It just washes right out. Anywho, let's get started with the pickings. So I have a list here. 13 people helped me out. A couple didn't give me numbers, so I'm just going to randomly select a book that sounds interesting to me. Pardon all of the screaming and dog barking. It's hot and I don't want to close my windows, and apartments suck. If you're young or older and you have to live in apartments, I feel you because I hate them myself. Let's get started. I'm done talking. Okay, please excuse the cords. As you can see, I have a fan, a very dusty bookshelf. I have a fan and this, like, it's not a humidifier. It is a air filter thing, because we all have asthma and it needs to be cleaned. But anyways, oh look, Sarah fell down. Yes, you guys have all seen all of this stuff. So this here, this is my normal bookshelf that I stand in front of. All of those books have been read. And then I'm working on this shelf here. Well, besides this section right here, all of this has also been read. So down here, excuse this mess. Those are packing stuff for when I send you guys books. But then all of this, all of this, all of this, all of that, all of this. This is all of my floor books. And that would all fit nicely on another bookshelf, which I don't have. So, God, those cords are hideous. Too bad they're not longer and I could hide them somewhere. Such is life when you have such a small house. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I have about 5 people that chose floor books. So we're just going to start, we'll start from this side first, and then maybe we'll go over here, and then, you know, take turns. So the first one was floor books number 6. Now, I'm going to ignore all of those because those are all, whatchamacallit. These are graphic novels. So we're going to go with this. You can't even see because I'm not on the thing. Let's try to scooch in here. Oh my goodness sakes. Okay. We're going to ignore all of these graphic novels, and we're just going to start with Sacre Bleu. I'm probably saying it completely wrong. One person picked 6, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 is Career of Evil, but because that is the second book, I will just jump up here to Silkworm and read the first book in that series. Okay, so the Silkworm is our first book. This is huge. I just got this from Laverne in my Trade Away Swaps spring edition video. So thank you again, Laverne, for this book. It's by Robert Galbraith, or aka J.K. Rowling. I am interested in reading a mystery. I haven't read one in a pretty long time, although Driven by Dane Cobain was also a mystery, which I absolutely loved this book. I will keep promoting him because he is an amazing YouTuber and author. I am always amazed when regular people write books. I don't know why, because, you know, Stephen King's a regular guy, so is J.K. Rowling. They just happen to have a talent that inspires everyone and is extremely impressive. But this was fun to read. I absolutely loved it. So, going back to the books, that was the first pile. Because I do have a couple other people who chose floor books and gave me numbers, I'm just going to go and pick from each little stack. That way it seems reasonable. More reasonable? I don't know. Whatever. So number 2 was floor books, and then number 8. So we're going to count from the bottom. We have here The Chemist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is Hellraisers by Alexander Gordon Smith. I've heard people say that this is kind of a junk series, but I did buy, ooh, don't fall down. I did buy this book for about $1, I think, from a book outlet, and I might as well read something that people say is bad before I get to his really good books. A lot of people, like I said, don't really like this series, but I might as well read it since I own it, and hopefully it's not that bad. I do own his Lockdown series, which people say are amazing, so I might as well go from his worst to his best, right? Maybe? Alright, we will see. This one is a YA horror knockout, so I'm all about that. Oh, I'm running out of light. Okay, so the next stack will be floor books number 7. By the way, I don't remember the people who chose all of these books for me. I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated in helping me choose my books this month. So, next stack, floor books number 7. So here is stack number 3. Stack number 3. And we'll start from the bottom again for book number 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Burntown by Jennifer McMahon. I love every single book she's written. So, well, I lied. I've only read 2 or 3 of her books. So I can't say I love all, but I am excited to read this one. And I think it's signed, which is very exciting. Okay, so I'm going to pull out this book here. Okay, so we have Burntown again by Jennifer McMahon. Thank you again, Will, for sending this to me. That was super nice of you. And yeah, I can't wait to read this one. For my next choice, I have floor books, and the number is 2. So let's go to 1, 2, 3, the 4th stack, the second book. All right, here is book stack 4. And let's get all the way down here. We have Skullduggery Pleasant, and that is number 1. And number 2 is Vermilion. This is a book that we got in our Nocturnal Readers box. Let me pull this one out. Okay, I'm getting really hot. I always get hot when I'm like digging through my books. Okay, so Vermilion here is, I don't know, but it's a nice thick book. It says The Adventures of Lou Merriweather. I don't know what that means. A novel by Molly Tanzer. Again, I don't know anything about this book. If you've read this book, let me know down below how you liked it. Okay, so for the last 2 floor books, no one gave me a number for them, which is going to be stacks 5 and 6. So I'm just going to pick a book that seems interesting to me. I guess because no one picked this, I will just have this as a surprise until I do my complete, like, professional portion of this video. So let me pick 2 books out and then we'll go on to the next category or the next genre. So the next category or genre I put for you guys to pick from is my most anticipated reads. Now, all of my birthday shelves, the front facing books are all most anticipated reads, and as you saw, I have huge stacks in front of my shelves. So we're gonna cheat and go to the very end of my bookshelves where the stacks aren't very tall, so I can choose these books. So I have numbers 2 and 3, so I'll do 1 shelf 2, 1 shelf 3. All right, so we're just gonna start with this shelf here, and let's see. Where should I start? I guess I'll just start from the bottom to the top. So we have 1 and 2. So we'll do A Study in Charlotte. I've been wanting to read this. This is another like mystery, and I think the 3rd book in this series just came out, so it'll be nice to finally get to this one. I got this from Leanne last year or the year before, I can't remember, because she didn't need it. She had 2 copies, I think. So thank you, Leanne, for this book. Okay, and then we're on to number 3. So we're going to go to this shelf here, and let's just go over here because it's faster than on that side, and we'll count 1, 2, 3, What the Dead Want. Let's try to pull this out. Well, move this one first. I need leverage. Oh my gosh. God, doing anything with one hand is hard. Okay. All right. What the Dead Want. This is by Nora Olson. This one came out a couple years ago. It's a ghosty book. I definitely wanted to read it because, duh. And yeah, there's a girl on the cover. Looks pretty cool. Okay, so for the next category, someone chose mystery. Only one person chose mystery, and they chose number 7. Now, I did have a stack underneath the packing, like papers and materials, so I pulled that stack out and set it on top of my bed so we could count to number 7. There are more mystery books on the very bottom of the tall bookshelf, but again, they're hard to get to, so let's just do what we can, okay? So we have this stack here. I don't know if this is a mystery, but it's added to this collection anyway. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The Sleep Room by F.R. Tallis. And there we go. I've been wanting to read this book for a while, so yay for picking that one out for me. Thank you. Let's pick the last categories. I have paranormal number 5. Okay, so we'll just start from, we'll start from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The Revenant. This is by Sonia Gensler, and this says Some Secrets Won't Stay Buried. So this is a ghosty book. I bought this from Book Off a long time ago because the spine caught my attention. It looked very pretty. And then when I realized it was a ghosty book, I definitely wanted to read it. The next one I'm going to choose is book number 6. So let's move some of these pops out of the way. And we started here for the first pick. So let's go down here and go across. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we need 6, so let's see. Should we go behind? Maybe we'll go behind. And 6 back there is called Glimpse by Kendra Lighton. I just received this book from Vanessa Hunt, who so wonderfully sent it to me for no reason at all except that she knew I wanted this book and I couldn't find it at the library. So that was very nice of her. Thank you again, Vanessa. I know you're on vacation, but if you see this video later on, I do appreciate you sending me this book. Alright, so I have 2 more books to choose from. There was, like I said, 13 altogether. I have one paranormal book that no one gave me a number for, and then another ghosty book, number 5. So I'm just going to go down to the second shelf, choose number 5, and then choose a random book that's a surprise to you guys and kind of a surprise to me. Yeah, so let me do that really quick. Okay, so this is my second shelf, and we'll do book number 5. Let's get out of here, Captain Jack Sparrow. We'll just come over here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The Killing Jar. Now, this is not a paranormal, I don't think. So we're going to put this back, and we're going to get the murmuring out, because I think the voices in her head are not her own. This is more paranormal, right? I don't know. I think I just put these 2 books there because they fit nicely. We'll just do 666. This is definitely paranormal. We'll do that one from Jay Anson. This is the author of the Amityville Horror, and it's a short book. So there's that one. And the last one I'm just going to pick myself off of this shelf that I find that I would like to read. Okay, so mostly professional here. I'm back down on the floor in between my bed and my books. I have chosen all 13 books that you guys have recommended, or not recommended, but you guys chose for me. So again, thank you very much. Before I get to those picks, which you've already mostly seen, I'm going to talk about the rollover books that I would like to read in June. Now, this is a very ambitious TBR. I know that. I didn't expect 13 people to pick books out for me, so if I can't get to all of them, that's totally fine. It will be summer starting next Thursday, and I'll have all the time in the world to read. Okay, so for the rollovers, I have here The Zombie Abbey by Lauren Baratz Logstead. This came out in May. I'm pretty sure it came out in May. I'm currently only this far in. I got to chapter 8, which is page 44. It's kind of slow. I was expecting it to be more like a Regency book, I think, because it's like following the kind of theme as like a Jane Austen read. But this is in 1920s, so they don't speak the way I keep thinking they're supposed to speak. And because it is the 1920s in England, I find that their language, again, is not appropriate for the time. I could be wrong. I'm not a linguist. I don't work in language, so I don't know what the proper lingo was back then. But it does seem off to me. And they haven't gotten to the zombies yet, so it's like, it's just okay. The next book I want to continue on is The Lying Game. I did read a little bit of this before I left on my trip. I'm only on page 42. So far, I'm not sure what's going on. There's a group of friends that met in high school, and now they are all adults, and there's like this secret word that they know that it's like kind of like a safe word, but it's like a friend word for them. And when they say it, all the girls come together to help. And I have a feeling what's happened, but I'm still trying to figure it out. Did that make any sense? Hopefully it did. Alright, next I have Unburied Carol. I didn't get very far in this at all. I'm only on page 15. I thought I was on page 30. I only picked this up once in the month of May. I am buddy reading this with my friend Amy. She's halfway through it. I am struggling. Not because the book isn't good. I can't tell you if it's good or not because I haven't read enough of it. I had so many books that I was reading last month that I was in the middle of that this one just seemed too daunting to pick up. So I just kept picking up the other books because they were shorter. But I do want to finish that one in June. And then the last book that I am going to be rolling over, that is my adult books, is The Roses of May by Dot Hutchison. I always want to add that N in there. It's Hutchison. I'm actually pretty far in this book. I am on 196. I only have this little bit left to go. So this will be done within, I want to say, this weekend. I will have this finished. I am really enjoying this book. If you haven't picked up The Butterfly Garden, or I think it's The Butterfly Garden. Yeah, the first book is over there on the shelf. So if you haven't picked up The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison, definitely pick it up. It's a serial killer book. Absolutely loved it. That one is about butterflies. This one is about flowers. When I first talked about this book in like my synopsis last month when I picked it up, I didn't know whether it was going to be a companion novel or if it was going to follow the same characters or not. So in this book, it's a whole different, it's kind of like Silence of the Lambs. So you have your, you have, oh, what's his name? Hannibal Lecter. He's always in the background, but then you have different agents working on different serial killer cases. This one doesn't have a Hannibal Lecter, but it's the same detectives that are working all of the cases. But the serial killers are different, but all of the victims know each other. Like, the victims from the last book are also in this book, and they're kind of like intertwined. So that is cool. I'm reading this because I do have The Children of Summer. I believe that's what the title is called, and that's the third book in this series. I think it's a series. Maybe it's just trilogy. Anywho, I am definitely enjoying it, and I want to pick up more of Dot's work because it's a very interesting read. I really enjoy her voice. All right, on to the rollovers for my kids. Now, we have here The Imaginary by A.F. Harold, and illustrated by Emily Gravett. When I first picked up this book, the very first line says she's dead, and my son thought, oh no, this is going to be such a sad book, and it kind of was, but now it's getting spooky again, and it's very strange, and we have all these weird characters, but the main character is an imaginary friend, which I think is an amazing concept for a kid's book, and the illustrations are amazing, and of course I will delve more into it when I do my wrap-up, but I'm enjoying this one. We are currently on chapter 10, so we only have this much more to go, and then we're finished. So a couple more days, and we'll be done with that book. And then we have, actually, that's not a rollover. And then we have Ready Player One. Now, I was reading Broody, the YA nonfiction, fiction, how to write book. And my son had watched the movie Ready Player One with his friend a couple weeks back. So because I have the book, I said I would read it to him, and we aren't very far in. We're currently only on page, is it 12? Yeah, 12. I just read the epilogue. Wait, epilogue is the ending. I read the prologue for this, and he's liking it so far. So this is what we'll continue on reading in the month of June. Now on to the books that I haven't picked up yet. So we have Gustav Bloom and the Cryptic Carousel by Adam Troy Castro, illustrated by Kristen Margiotta. This is the fourth book in the Gustav Bloom series. There are 7 books total. My kids are loving it. I am loving it. This is Fernie and Gustav, and I believe this is Harrington the cat, and I don't know why there's a monkey here. Well, it's not a monkey, it's an ape. But we'll see. I am really enjoying it. Again, these books are great because they have giant words. The only drawback is they're like run-on sentences, so I tend to run out of breath before I can finish what I'm talking about. But I am enjoying the series. All right, my knees were on fire, so I had to sit on my bottom, so we're now lower than before. All right, the last 13 books that I want to share with you guys. Now, again, all of these books are pretty thick. I am definitely going to be reading all of my rollover books because you might not have seen, but I have about 20 books right here on this shelf that you can't see. That is, they're not DNFs because I don't want to get rid of them, but they are like books that are sleeping at the moment. They're in sleep mode. They're just hanging out, not being read. And I hate having a million books that are like that, but I do have a bunch. I'm rambling. Let's just get back to what I was talking about. I was going to tell you about my Goodreads, but you guys don't care about that. So, one of the surprise books that I chose from my floor is Briefing for a Descent into Hell, a highly original, passionately imagined novel by Doris Lessing. This is the ugly cover. There is a nicer cover of this. I did buy this from thrift books, and with thrift books you don't have a guarantee on what the cover is when you buy it, so I was bummed when I got this one. And the font is, I don't know, it's like that old ugly font, if that makes any sense. I'm hoping it's not that bad because there seems like there's a lot of like dialogue in here too where people are just talking, so we'll see how that goes. I've been wanting to read this for a really long time, and when I picked this up, I picked it up because it had something to do with asylums, so I hope I'm not wrong and this is like an asylum book. We'll see. All right, and then you guys already know about this one. This is Glimpse by Kendra Layton. This is a ghosty book. I've been wanting to read this. The font isn't too bad. It seems like it'll be a fast read. By the way, I'm going to San Francisco this weekend, so I will probably choose like 2 books to take with me. Not to read in the car because I get sick, but just to read in the hotel. We'll see. And then another surprise book is Damon Hall by Andrew Nance. I have had this on my like TBR pile a few times, I think, and I always put it back. But the font's really big, and it should, look at, there's pictures in here. I didn't even know there were pictures in here. There's illustrations. Okay, I'm really excited now. Look at the cute pictures. Yay. Okay, so I might actually take this one with me. Ooh, and there's, where is it? Look, there's like newspaper clippings. I'm so excited. Can you tell how awful I am? How so many books I own? I don't even know what's inside these books. Like I find a book that sounds interesting, I buy it, I put it on my shelf, and it just sits there. Because I, you know, have a hard time choosing out of my library what I want to read. And then I find these gems. So excited. All right. And you guys already saw this one. This is The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith or J.K. Rowling. This is a mystery. I'm hoping it goes fast because boy is this big. That's what she said. All right, and then we have Vermilion. Again, this was a Nocturnal Reader's Box book that I received. The font's small-ish, and there's a lot of words on each page, my God. Hoping that this is good. It says gunslinging, chain-smoking, Stetson-wearing, Taoist psycho-pomp, Eloise Lou Merriweather might not be a normal 19-year-old, but she's too busy keeping San Francisco safe from ghosts, shades, and gung-sai to care much about that. That actually sounds pretty cool. So we have a gun-slinging girl, a 19-year-old girl, who works on the supernatural. Pretty cool. I mean, it does look like a girl on the cover. All right, I'm excited. All right. Can I say all right enough? Next, we have 666, The Devil's Number, by Jay Anson. I thought his first book, The Amityville Horror, was just okay. It wasn't something to brag about. Oh, wow. That font is teensy. Oh, and it smells like basement. I didn't think it was scary whatsoever, but I'm desensitized because I read a lot of scary books, and I didn't even know this existed. So I'm super excited to read it. I think someone sent this to me. If you sent this to me, thank you very much. Let me know down below so I can put your name in the book, because if I don't do it right away, like during my unboxings, then I forget, and like I forgot. Looking forward to this one though. Okay, I'm losing Sun. The next one was the only mystery book that someone chose, and that was The Sleep Room by F.R. Tallis. I've heard someone in the comments say that this is actually a good book, which I'm excited. I bought this on a whim from Book Off. I don't know anything about it. The font is pretty, you know, pretty okay, and it doesn't take up the entire page, so hopefully that means that this won't be a hard read. I am in the middle right now with reading. Like, I've been reading a lot in the shower. I know you guys ask me questions about that all the time. I do read a lot in the shower. I also read a lot in the car. Oh, speaking of the car, remind me. I'll do it at the end. So I read a lot in the car, I read a lot in the shower, and I read like when I'm cooking, and I read to the children at night. So I don't want books that are going to take me forever, because it's hard enough for me to read as it is at the moment in time. Again, it's summer, so hopefully that won't be so bad. Alright, and then this was another surprise book. I just took it off of one of the stacks here. This is The Great American Whatever by Tim Federal. This was a most anticipated read a few years back. Maybe it was last year. I cannot remember. It is supposed to be a funny book. A raw nerve of a book, so perfectly tender and funny and true. That was from Becky Albertalli. Yeah. I kind of forgot what this book was about, but it's not that long, and I kind of wanted to split up my books, so I have a bunch of thrillers and, not thrillers, I'm sorry. I have a bunch of mysteries and ghostly books, so this one's going to be like a light read, I'm hoping, because it's supposed to be funny. Alright, and then my last books here. So I have Hellraisers from Alexander Gordon Smith. This is supposed to be a horror. We'll see. We have What the Dead Want by Nora Olson. This was one of my most anticipated reads picks. The font in here is not too bad. Oh, and there's pictures. Is there pictures? I thought I saw one. Ooh, there are pictures. Kind of creepy. Excellent. I'm looking forward to that. Ghostly books always go quickly for me, so I'm looking forward to powering through all of these books. Then we have The Revenant by Sonia Gensler. Where does one hold a seance? You're not going to make me sit here by her grave, are you? Olivia shook her head. Of course not. My grandmother taught me that spirits linger in the places where they lived and loved, not where their bodies are put to rest. Ella once lived in your room. I think we should hold our seance there in order to be as close as possible to her spirit. My stomach twisted. Fine, I said. Tell me what to do. Ooh, seance book. Okay, the font's not too bad. It doesn't take up the entire page, which is nice. Looking forward to that one. Oh, I'm really excited about these picks this month, because these books have just been seriously sitting on my shelves for stinking ever, and without you guys choosing them for me, I probably wouldn't have picked them up for a long time. Next, we have A Study in Charlotte. This is a Sherlock Holmes retelling by Brittany Cavallero. Again, I got this from Leanne a few years back, and it's a YA, and the font's not that bad. This is supposed to be an easy read as well. I've heard good things about that trilogy, so I'm looking forward to it. And then the last book I have here is Burntown. Jennifer McMahon writes books about the paranormal, so she'll have like a monster or some kind of ghostly apparition in her books. Also, there's lots of different POVs, or at least 2 POVs in all of the books that I have read so far, and there are time jumps, so you'll have the present and the past within the book. yeah, so we will see how this one is set up. But I think that might be her MO, so I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. All right, so you guys reminded me just right now. I looked at you again and I said, thank you. Thank you for telling me about the Stephen King books. One moment. So while I was picking up my Stephen King book, I remembered I'm still not done with Goblin. Gosh. For some reason, short story collections always drag for me, even though it should be fast because you're just reading one story at a time. I'm actually really enjoying this, but I keep putting it down for other books. So I only have 3... There, I only have this much left. I only have 3 stories. Penelope and I are buddy reading this, although I think she's like a story behind me. Yeah, so I have 3 more stories. It's not that long. I should have this done, hopefully by next week. If not, there's something seriously wrong with me. And then I have my 2 Stephen King picks. This one was the May pick, and this one is the June pick. So the May pick was Firestarter. It's extremely fat. I only got to 111 or so. This is super slow for me, and I had to put it down. I'm just like, I'm not saying I hate it, because I don't hate it. I haven't read enough to hate it. But there is a father and a daughter, and they're on the run, and there's like this really bad... There's this really bad section of the government where they do experiments on humans, and they gave a whole bunch of college students this serum, which gave them supernatural abilities. So there's telepaths and pyrokinetics, and like people can move things with their mind, telekinesis and stuff like that. So did I say telekinesis? There's telekinesis and telepathy. There's also that one. So this is kind of like the Lost Causes book that I read in April. But the dad went to that study in college, got the serum, and has been changed. And what the government wants to do is they want to use them, not necessarily as a weapon, but to keep the United States safe from foreign invaders. And so, but in order to do so, they need to track these people down and then like keep them in a lab and study them until they pretty much die. So 2 members of the college, what is it called? Like experiment. Like 2 kids from that experiment ended up getting married and having a kid, which is our main character. Her name's Charlie. And so because her mom and dad both had the serum when they were in college, she ended up not needing the serum. She ended up being born with abilities. So she's a pyrokinetic? I don't know how to say it. She can start fires. But they're running away from those really bad people, and it makes me nervous. And I don't want to read it because I don't want to see her and her dad get captured or suffer. And even though I'm assuming that she is going to defeat them in the end, because what's the point of reading the book otherwise, it's still, it's such a slow beginning. So I put this down. And I picked up the June book instead. The June book is thinner. I've seen this movie a long time ago. This is by Stephen King, aka Richard Bachman. And you know what's funny? And again, this video is so long. You can tell the difference between Stephen King and Richard Bachman. It's the same person, obviously, but these books are just written slightly different. Like, it's almost as if, again, he's a different person. They're not as good as Stephen King's books. They sound completely different. I don't know what it is, but this is about a man who runs over a gypsy woman, and he thinks he's been cursed by either like the gypsy woman's husband or brother, because the gypsy man touches him and says thinner, and then over the course of the next 3 weeks he starts to lose weight. He's a pretty heavy set man, which is funny because he goes, I'm super heavy, and his like top weight was like 246, which is not that heavy. So I was thinking, well, maybe that was heavy back when this was written, because 246 is kind of on the chunky side, but it's not overly obese. I mean, if he was like in his 400s or 500s, I would say, yeah, you definitely need to lose some weight. But that's for a man who's like, I thought he was like 6 feet or something. 246 isn't that much. Anywho, God, I'm going on a tangent. I am enjoying it. I've listened to 6 chapters so far, and it's only a 10-hour audiobook, so this should be done very quickly, and then I'll get back into this. If you guys are wondering about the Dark Tower series, I am stuck because for some reason my downloaded audiobook is missing a chapter. I know. I don't know how that happened. So I'm missing an entire chapter, which means I have to read it, you know, the physical copy from my book before I can go back to listening to it in the car. And I just haven't had time to sit down and read that one chapter. So it's getting put on hold again, but which is okay because I need to get through the rest of these books. All right. Holy smokes. I have been talking for 45 minutes. I will condense this as much as possible, but you know me. I feel like you guys are sitting, you know, in my bedroom with me and we're, you know, just talking about books, which essentially we are. So when I talk a lot, I don't think it's a bad thing, but at the same time, I'm sure you guys don't want to sit and listen to me ramble for forever. All right. That is it. That is my June TBR. Very tentative. Let me know down below what books you are planning on reading in the month of June. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, which ones you think I should get to first, what sounded good, or what you guys have been wanting to read and you really want me to tell you about. You know, definitely. Because like I said, I do want to get to all these books, but if there are a hierarchy and in what book is the best, I want to read those ones first so I can definitely get them done in June. So again, let me know all that information down below. P.S. My husband brought home a Fitbit, and I have no idea how this works. I put it on my phone, and it says that I've already done today. I took a day off and pretty much slept all day because I'm getting sick. But it said I like had 1,300 steps and I like burned 500 and something calories. That's such a lie, because me running with like exercising hardcore up a hill for 5 miles, I only burned 430 calories. So how can you tell me walking to the kitchen a million times to get water or whatever is burning that many calories? It's false. I don't have to think about this whole stupid Fitbit thing. It was free. He won it at work in like a giveaway or something. I don't know how long I'm going to wear it for. Anywho, good Lord. That is it. I hope you guys again have a wonderful, wonderful night, wonderful week, wonderful weekend, whatever that is when you guys see this video. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.